You ever notice how saying goodbye feels like ripping a part of yourself out? Whether it's a person, a place, a habit, or even an old version of yourself. It feels heavy, right? Like you're walking around with a hole in your chest. And yet, there is a strange kind of rhythm in it, isn't there? Like deep down, you know that goodbye is the start of something else, even if it's messy. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Better Mindset podcast. I'm your host Hajar and I'm so happy to have you here again. So let's dive straight into our topic. I'm not talking about the easy goodbyes, like when you leave a party early or hang up on a boring phone call maybe. No, I'm talking about the real ones, the ones that shake your world, the ones that force you to face yourself. Let me tell you something about my life. I've said goodbye more times than I can count. Some of those goodbyes felt like hell, I swear. When I left my country, for example, my home country at 17, 18, I guess, I wasn't just leaving a place. I was leaving my family, my comfort. I was leaving everything I knew, my environment. I was leaving myself. You know what it's like to hug your brother for what feels like the last time? Or to see your mom's face and wonder if you'll ever be able to come back? It's gut-wrenching. But you know what? I made it. I made it. Yes, I didn't just survive it. I own it. And that's what I want to talk about today. How to face those kinds of goodbyes and come out stronger, sharper, and more you. First thing we need to do is stop pretending that goodbyes are easy. No, they are not. Let's call it what it is. It's pain, it's loss. And loss comes with grief. Grief doesn't mean weakness. No. In fact, if you're grieving, it means you care deeply. And that's kind of strength most people don't even realize they have. But don't get stuck there, because it's a trick. Yes, it is. It's a trick. A lot of people let their grief swallow them whole, like they stay in relationships, in jobs, in places that have nothing left to give, because they're scared to face that grief. Like they would rather live in misery than feel the sharp sting of goodbye. Not you though. Not you. You're not here for that. You're here to grow. And growth, it requires goodbyes. So, when I first moved, I thought I would break. Like I was 17, 18, barely an adult. Had to figure out a whole new life. I worked 3 jobs while going to school full time. Trust me, like there were days I couldn't even think straight. I kept pushing and pushing because I refused to let that goodbye define me as a victim, you know. So I told myself, you're not here to crumble, you're here to rebuild. That's the lesson I want you to take away. Goodbyes are about rebuilding. You're not losing something. You're clearing space for something better. What is holding you back right now? It is fear, guilt, comfort. Maybe it's the version of you that doesn't want to let go. Regret doesn't come from saying goodbye. Regret comes from staying too long. You don't owe your past self loyalty. I'm saying it again. You don't owe your past self anything. That version of you didn't know what you know now. They didn't have the wisdom, the strength, the clarity you've gained with time. Honor them by letting them go. Here's the part when I want to flip the narrative. Goodbyes aren't just about what you're walking away from. They're about what you're walking toward. When I said goodbye to my old life, I didn't know what was waiting for me. But guess what? That goodbye brought me independence. It brought me strength, taught me how to stand on my own feet. Let me be real with you. I've had to say goodbye to people I love. I had to cut ties with friendships that drained me. Like even family members who didn't respect my boundaries. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Not everyone gets to stay in your story. I'm not here to tell you it gets easier. No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But what does happen is you get stronger. You learn to trust yourself. You stop waiting people or situations to validate your choices. You start making decisions because you know what's right for you, not because you're afraid of what others will think. And you finally say, this is my life, and I'm not apologizing for how I choose to live it. That's when you will see why GoodBye was the best decision you ever made. So here is my challenge for you. Stop running from the goodbye you know you need to say. It doesn't matter if it's a person, a habit, or just an entire life. If it's not serving you anymore, it's time to let go. Say goodbye like you mean it. Walk away knowing you're not just leaving something behind. You're stepping into the strongest, the most fearless version of yourself. That's the psychology of saying goodbye. It's not an ending. It's the beginning. It's a declaration that you are worth more than the comfort of saying the same. So go ahead and say it. Goodbye. Bye. Au revoir. Ciao. Close that door. That simple. What do you do when fear keeps you from saying goodbye? Fear is what locks most people in place. You know you need to let go. You feel it deep in your gut, but the thought of actually doing it, terrifying. So let's break it down piece by piece. Let's talk about what fear actually is. Fear isn't the enemy. It's a signal. It's your brain trying to protect you from discomfort, from pain, from uncertainty. But your brain doesn't know the difference between danger and growth. It treats them the same way. Ask yourself this. Are you scared of being alone? Or are you afraid of failing if you leave? Or is it just the fear of the unknown? Or the what if it's worse on the other side? I want you to write it down. Get it out of your head. Fear loses power when you name it. And once you've named it, remind yourself, fear is in fact. Just because you're scared doesn't mean you're making the wrong decision. Number 2, stop romanticizing what you're letting go of. A lot of people get stuck because they're romanticizing the thing they're afraid to leave. You keep replying in your head, the good times, the good memories. And after that, you start thinking, maybe it's not that bad. Let me ask you this. If it was that great, would you be considering a goodbye in the first place? The answer is no. So, stop giving so much power to the highlight reel in your head. Focus on the reality of the situation. What's the cost of saying? What is it doing to your peace, your happiness, to your growth? Number 3, recognizing the saying is also a risk. Yes, here is something people don't talk about enough. Saying can be just as risky as leaving. Like you think you're playing it safe because you stay in that relationship, in that job, or in that routine. But what are you risking? Your time, your growth, your mental health, your potential. We always hear, what if I fail if I leave? But I want you to flip that and ask, what if I fail because I stayed? What if staying keeps you small and it keeps you stuck where you are? Staying isn't always the safer option. Like sometimes it's the most dangerous choice that you can make. Number 4, lean into the discomfort. This is a hard one, I guess, but it's essential. Saying goodbye isn't supposed to feel good in the moment. It's uncomfortable, I know, it's messy, it hurts, but growth always comes with discomfort. It's just a part of the process. When you're afraid of saying goodbye, I want you to remember this. The pain of leaving is temporary, but the pain of staying in the wrong place, that lasts forever, trust me. You've got to trust that the discomfort you feel now will lead you to something better down the line. Number 5, build a vision for what's next. Sometimes the fear of the goodbye is just the fear of the unknown. Like you're so focused on what you're losing that you forget to think about what you're gaining. So here is an exercise for you. I want you to close your eyes and imagine your life 6 months from now or 1 year from now after you've said goodbye. What does it look like? Are you finally at peace? Are you surrounded by people who lift you up? Are you stepping into opportunities that align with your purpose? Hold on to that version. That's your why. Every time fear creeps in, remind yourself of what you're working toward. Number 6, if the idea of a big goodbye feels overwhelming, start small. Practice letting go of the little things. For example, you can say no to plans you don't want to be part of, or you can set boundary with someone who drains your energy. You can remove a habit that doesn't serve you. Each small goodbye builds your confidence and teaches you that letting go is not as scary as it seems. It's like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you get. Number 7, let me tell you something. You are more capable than what you think. The fear you're feeling, it's not a sign that you're weak. No, it's a sign that you care. It's a sign that you're about to grow, and growth, it requires trust. Trust God. Trust in yourself. Trust in your decisions. Trust that you will figure it out no matter what happens. Every single time I've said goodbye, it led to something better. Was it easy? No. Did it hurt? Absolutely. But I came out stronger, wiser, and more aligned with who I'm supposed to be. Now, number 8, find your people. For me, whenever I face a problem that deeply hurts me, I keep it to myself. I've been like this since I was a kid, and I'm not that kind of person who runs to people to share my pain. Like, if it's something small, like issue with friends, co-workers, I don't mind talking about it because honestly, I don't care that much. But when it's something that cuts deep, I won't share it and I won't talk about it. That's just how I could, because that's how I feel comfortable. It's not that I don't want to share, I just feel at peace keeping certain things to myself. Also understand that not everyone is like that, and that's okay. If you can't handle it alone, it's absolutely fine to find people who can support you. Don't have to go through it by yourself. If fear is paralyzing you, find people who support you. Don't have to do this alone. Talk to a friend, a mentor, or a therapist. Now, I may not know your exact situation, but I know what it feels like to stand on the edge of a goodbye and wonder if you will survive the fall. You will. Trust me. Now, number 9, this one is special. Celebrate the goodbye. Yes, celebrate the goodbye. What if saying goodbye isn't an ending, but a celebration of growth, of self-respect, a celebration of choosing yourself. You're not just walking away from something, you're walking towards something incredible. So instead of dreading the goodbye, celebrate it. Write yourself a letter about what you're letting go. Throw a freedom party if you have to. Make it a moment that honors the strength it takes to choose yourself. Saying goodbye is so much more than a single moment. It's a process, and sometimes it's a complete transformation, because this isn't just about the act of saying goodbye. It's about understanding, embracing it, and using it to evolve. So goodbye is a form of self-respect. Holding on to wrong people, wrong places, wrong habits, it's self-betrayal. Every time you keep someone in your life who disrespects your boundaries, every time you stay in a job that sucks the life out of you, every time you to something that drains your energy, you're telling yourself, I'm not worth more than this. But saying goodbye, that's self-respect in action. You got what I mean? It's saying, I love myself enough to walk away. And let me tell you, self-respect isn't always comfortable. It's not supposed to be. It's a radical act of putting yourself first. And that's not easy when you've been conditioned to please others or fear rejection. Ask yourself this. If I truly respected myself, what would I walk away from today? To really understand goodbyes, you have to unpack why we resist them. First thing first, fear of the unknown. It's easier to stay in the mess you know than to face the uncertainty of starting over. The unknown is where everything new begins. A lot of us stay because we feel responsible for other people's feelings. But listen, you're not responsible for how others handle your boundaries. You're responsible for your own peace. Number 3, nostalgia. We get stuck in the past replaying the good times, the laughter, the good memories, but nostalgia is a trap. It makes you forget the reasons you want to live in the first place. Don't let the past hold your future hostage. Number 4, comfort. Sometimes we say not because it's good for us, but because it's familiar. The brain craves routine, even if the routine is toxic. But comfort zones are prisons, trust me. They keep you small, scared, and stuck where you are. Saying goodbye isn't a single emotion. It's a whole storm of feelings: grief, relief, fear, and anger, peace, whatever it is, and they often hit you all at once. Here is how to navigate each layer. Grief. Allow yourself to feel it. Cry if you want to cry. Scream if you want to scream. Write about it if you want. Whatever it takes. Grieving isn't weakness. It's a part of letting go. Relief. Don't feel guilty if you feel lighter after saying goodbye. That's your soul thanking you for doing what it needed. Fear. Recognize it. Name it and face it. Fear only has power if you let it. Hope. Focus on the possibility of what's next. The key is to feel everything without letting any single emotion define your decision. Let's talk about the hardest goodbye of all. Saying goodbye to who you used to be. Maybe it's the version of you that put everyone else first. Maybe it's the you who stayed quiet to avoid conflicts, for example. Or maybe it's the you again who played small because you were scared to take up space. Saying goodbye to an old version of yourself feels like losing your identity. Here is the thing, you're not losing yourself, you're evolving, you're stepping into a stronger, wiser, more authentic version of you. Sometimes a goodbye feels more real when you give it a ritual or a moment of closure. There are some ways to make the process intentional. Write a letter to the person, situation, or version of you that you're letting go of. Be honest. Thank them for what they taught you, but also explain why it's time to move on. You don't even have to send it. Just the act of writing it can bring closure. Symbolic release. You gotta find a physical way to release what you're holding on to. Burn the letter, delete old photos, old conversations, everything. Just do something that symbolizes the act of letting go. Number 3. Set a goodbye date. Set a specific date and stick to it. Whether it's ending a relationship, quitting a job, or moving on from a habit, putting it in the calendar makes it real. Here is again what nobody tells you. Goodbyes don't just change your external circumstances. They change you. They teach you resilience, self-trust, and clarity. Every goodbye you've ever said has shaped you into who you are today, who you are right now. The strength you have now, that comes from the things you let go of before. And the strength you will have tomorrow, that's waiting for you on the other side of that goodbye you're scared to make now. So now let's talk about when goodbye feels like failure. Saying goodbye isn't a failure. Walking away doesn't mean you gave up. It means you choose yourself. Think of it this way. Every plant outgrows its spot eventually, right? Like if you keep it in the same space, it rots, will tangle, and will stop growing. You're the same. Saying goodbye isn't about abandoning something. It's about making space for your growth. If you're still struggling to say goodbye, ask yourself these questions. What am I sacrificing by staying? Or who do I want to become? And is this holding me back from that? And if I wasn't scared, what decision would I make? Here is the most important thing to remember. Goodbye is never the end. It's just a bridge to something new. You might not see right away, and that's okay. Trust the process, trust God, and trust yourself. Every goodbye you say is a declaration of your worth. It's you saying, I refuse to settle for less than what I deserve. So what's holding you back from saying the goodbye you need to say? Whatever it is, you've got what it takes to let it go. Start now. Start messy. Just start. Are stronger than your fear. The life you want, the peace you deserve, and the person you're meant to be, it's all waiting for you on the other side of that goodbye. So take a deep breath and do it. Say goodbye to the person, the situation, the version of yourself that's been holding you back. It's not easy, but it's worth it, trust me. And I promise you this, the moment you let go, you will realize how much lighter you feel. You've got this. I believe in you. Go make the choices that honors your future, not your fear.